Hey yo, what's the deal? You know who it is. It's the Don, Tony Teflon, House Teflon. We pull the strings, and this is a Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 8, The Mountain and the Viper review. Now, first off, I'd like to say that Game of Thrones, you know, me and Game of Thrones, I love this show and stuff. My favorite show, favorite book series and stuff like that. And we've had, you know, ups and downs and stuff like that, like this episode. Basically, all seasons has been like, most likely probably been about I'd say 7.5 average and stuff like that. And so this is going to be the best season. And it hasn't been and stuff like that. So, and I say 7.5 because I rate this as the Battle of Blackwater to me is the greatest episode they made. And that's a 10 to them, right? So I rate this on that, and I haven't seen an episode like that. So, before, right off the bat, the Mountain versus the Viper, I just have to say, this is an 11, motherfucker! 11! Woo! This is the best episode I've seen on network TV. Any show. From beginning to the end, this is the way this show was meant to be. And I don't know why they can't do every episode like this. I know the material. It's just, you know, it just all happened to fit into place at this particular time. But at this time, there's only one way for me to do this. And I'm sorry. And I'm going to have to say this right now. Since I am a book reader and I have read the books, there is no way that I can do this review without spoiling stuff. So, for this one episode, it will have to be a spoiler-full review. I'm going to say stuff because I'm just excited, and I'm going to say something, say it, and I'm sorry. So if you have not read the books, you probably don't want to see this review. But there's only a couple of things in it, but one thing I'm going to say without a doubt, it's pretty big. So I will give you a warning. I'll put the hand up, and then when the hand goes down, that means the spoiler's done. Alright, there we go. But I got the only way I can do this is I have to play this episode right now and skim through it so I can go through every detail that I see. So here we go with this right now. The Mountain and the Viper. The greatest episode of any show on network TV that I've ever seen. Now, we get the beginning going on and stuff like that. And I basically would like to say that the best part of the beginning, if you see it, about the beginning, the best part is that you see Mo Kalen in the beginning, and that's basically all you really have to know about the beginning. Let's skim through the beginning right here and get right to the first scene and see what's going on. Right off the bat.
You fucking get Everyone gets every fucking time. Listen, you cunt.
So right off the bat, the first episode, you get, and this is the way I want the show to look. You understand? It looks grimy, gritty. You see these chicks, they're Moles Town, nasty, dirty bitches they are. And I love it, right? And this bitch is burping. At least she ain't farting, because that'd be nasty. But at least she's burping up the bear, the maiden fair, and everyone's drinking, having a good fucking time, all fun and games. And then this bitch has got the nerve to go and try to fuck with Gilly. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, you know, like Gilly got something to do because the baby's sitting. That bitch, you just need to step the fuck up. But then right after that, these wildin' just come and sack the shit out of this place. And the bottom line, the best thing about it that they're showing right now is this how ferocious these fucking wildins are and the threat that they are. You know what I mean? And that's the best part that they're showing, finally, the brutality of these motherfuckers and stuff like this. Now, obviously, this did not happen in the books and stuff like that with Gilly in this place like that, but still, it does not matter. When you do things like that, it doesn't have to be in the books. It's verbatim. You just have to take from it the right things and leave the wrong things out. And this is a necessary scene. Like I say, other scenes you put in there, this don't matter. This shit pays the fuck off right here. So then after that, you see,
saying they should have been there, pledged to guard the.
Right after that, you see Egret. She finds Gilly and shit, and she's sitting laid up in there with the baby. And as she has killed a couple of people, she still has some mercy in her. And then she just sits up and lets her go. And then you see Sam just sitting there with his brothers, and they're just like, yo, you know, if they hit that spot, our spot is definitely next. And Sam is feeling like shit, like, why did I put her there? But then they're like, yo, this bitch done survived White Walkers, he survived Crafter, she survived all this shit. It's to give Sam some hope that she's still alive and stuff like that. And as we see, most likely she is alive. So then the next scene we looking at here, and I'm looking at this goddamn Melisandre, and thank God she is not big star yet, because, let me tell you, son, I'm so happy I'm black. Oh, yeah. Stand up, baby girl, stand up. And let me tell you, when you could do that to a dude with no dick and get him fucking riled up, imagine how you got a dude like me with a dick, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, baby girl. Oh my God, look at you. Look at you. See, I got a big TV, a 73-inch jump, so. So yeah. So then you get Melisandre standing here in all her glory and stuff like that. And then basically she realized this cat is looking at her. So then Daenerys is like, you know, did they take the dude's dick off and his balls? And she's like, I'm not really sure. And she's like, you curious? And she's like, yeah, I am curious. So then this dude, Grey Worm, he comes over to her, and he's just like, you know, listen, I'm sorry, baby. I need to be looking at you like that, like I'm some pervert. I don't need to be getting down like that. It's not the way I roll. And then she's like, oh, it's no offense. Don't worry, you know. I'm happy you saw me. I was like, I'm happy I saw you too, girl. And that's where that leads off. So we don't know where that's going to go. Hopefully this dude's dick is still there and he just got his balls, and somehow he deserves to hit that, son. He deserves to, man. I should be.
This
man,
Sunday, from the island of NUFF.
They should let me play that dude. I should be him. That shit, it should be me. Alright. So then we get the next scene right here. We get Theon Greyjoy and over here with Ramsay Snow at the time. And he's telling them, listen, this is what you gotta do. You know what I mean? This is, you're Theon, but you're Reek. And that's it. Be convinced who you are.
That's right.
Right now. Forever.
You're rotting in the ground.
And go over there and get me more Caitlyn. So he goes up in there and he starts talking to these dudes, the Ironborn dudes there. And most of the Ironborn dudes, you know, is hard ass, and these dudes are sickly and he's throwing up and they, you know, and everything else. They've been there. And Theon is like, you know, he's in there trying to play the role and shit like that, but the one dude's about to bitch him down. You know what I mean? First up, they don't even believe who the hell this dude is. You know what I mean? So he's over here, he has to say that he's from the Drowned Guard and everything else to make people believe that who he is. So then he sits there, and he knows, because the bottom line is Ironborns aren't pussy. You know what I mean? So the guy knows, like, listen, if you really my prince, you wouldn't be telling me to fucking surrender. Because the Ironborn, we don't get down like that. We don't fucking surrender at all. But this is just like the books, and this is why it's perfect. This guy goes in there, he says this thing, and he's about to stand up, and he's got some spits in Theon's face, and he's got Theon bitched out. And right when he's got him bitched out, this dude just comes up with the hatchet and is just right in the back of this motherfucker's skull. Boom! And that's the way the Ironborn roll to me, you know what I mean? They're supposed to be this Vikings, you know what I mean? Just savage beasts like that. And they have not put their culture forth like they have in this episode. And it's funny because the best part, because he had Theon bitched out. He had him until that guy came with the axe in his head. Because that guy just wanted to get home. And then you see what happened after that guy tried to take the easy way out. that fat fuck got filleted by the outside.
Yield, we live.
And in the book, it's the same thing, but they showed him. But they tell him they fillet all of them, and they show them all lined up out there. And that's just the Bolton way. They just fillet motherfuckers and stuff like that. And if really Theon didn't lie to him. He told him he's gonna treat him exactly the way he treated me, and that's it. And I like the way that they showed him filleted. I never actually seen him filleted like that, but it was great the way they did it and stuff like that. So then we come to the little finger, and he's up in the Vale, and then he's got all the older people of the Vale, all the older families up in there, and they're over there trying to find out exactly what happened and stuff like that, question him, try and dig him out. And then they're like, yo, we're going to bring in this chick who's supposed to be your niece right now. And then he's like, let me talk to her. And right now, he has no way out. There's nothing he can do. Usually he has someone on his side, someone that can help him here and there. But at this particular point, he can't do nothing. There's nothing he can do. He has no weapons. He has no one around him. There's knights around him and everything else. And basically, that's why they tell him, listen, you ain't got nothing to fear from us. The old lady said to Sansa, and you ain't got nothing to fear from him. Just tell it to us straight right now. And basically from here, Littlefinger's shitting himself because this is the one time he does not have control at all. It's all in her hands. And any way it goes, he just has to swing in the wind. And the bottom line is she has learned the game that he has taught her and just pulls a con. And not only does she pull a con, she pulls a con for her best interest, as she says, because after she does it, and he confronts her after you see her give the wink to him or whatever, not the wink, but she looks over the shoulder, she's conning him. And he asks her, like, why would you do a thing like that, yada, yada. He's like, listen, they gonna kill you. What they gonna do to me? I mean, I know you bad, but I don't know how bad they are. I know how bad you have been, and you've already protected me and stuff like that. And basically, I know what you want. I know exactly what you want. And what you want is me. And I know you want me. And the bottom line, since you want me, you ain't going to hurt me. And I know I can hold that over you and use that to you. And stuff like that. So then Littlefinger pulls the con on the people and gets him to have Lord Robert go out there, out towards, have Lord Aaron go out there to the chill and stuff like that, and so he can go see his towns and stuff like that, and go see his kingdom to get him out there and stuff like that. And then Sansa, she comes down them steps, and let me tell you something. She comes down them steps in that like Maleficent type outfit and stuff like that. She just looks like the queen, the true. She looks like a straight queen right there. You know what I mean? And in the books, you never really could see her like that. But the way you can see it right there, she really does look like the queen. Like she deserves to be the queen and stuff like that. So after that, you get the letter interception. So Barrish and Selmy intercepts the letter that was coming from Mormont, and then he confronts him with him and stuff like that. And basically, obviously, from season 1, we know that this dude's been spying on Daenerys and everything else and stuff like that. And that had to come out eventually and stuff like that. So Daenerys. And the bottom line is, when you're fucking with Daenerys, when you're fucking with her kids, she cannot forgive you. There's no forgiveness for the kids. You've seen what happened with Viserys when he tried to threaten her kid. She watched fucking Khal Drogo break that fucker's arm and pour gold on his head. And that's the only family she had ever known her whole life, because he threatened her kid. So after he did that, there's no turning back for this dude. So he has to get the fucking skedaddle and get the hell out of there and stuff like that.
Send letters to the
And that's the bottom line and stuff like that. Because it really wasn't anything else that she was really concerned about. But I like Daenerys in this role. It's getting back to Daenerys and stuff like that. I like Daenerys in this role being looking like Daenerys and stuff like that, looking like the queen and everything else. Top to fucking bottom, this episode is fucking loaded, boy. And then you get the scene of Ramsay Bolton and Roose Bolton going up on the hill. And Roose basically saying, listen, what do you see, man? I mean, this kid don't really know what to do. I don't know what you want me to see. And he's like, this is the North, 400 miles, 300 miles, 400 miles, 200 miles. I run it all. And now you are my son. And he gives him the paperwork and stuff like that to say this is it. Because after he's proved himself to be a rightful heir to him. Roos has no heirs and stuff like that, and he's gonna need people to help him hold this vast land and stuff like that. So he commits to his son, and he goes through that, and that's the best scene out of all the stuff Ramsey did. I think that's the best scene he played the whole time. And then you see them marching off the Bolton. You see the Bolton flag, and you see them marching right to Winterfell. That's what that is in the background. That's Winterfell, and obviously they're going to take Winterfell. After that is the Peter scene that I said before with her and Sansa. There's no need to go with that. So then we go right to Arya and the Hound. And Arya and the Hound, I like the fact that they did not use too much of Arya and the Hound, because there's no really need to use them and stuff like that in this particular time and stuff like that. But the way they did do it is great, because she comes there, she comes all this way, and after all she's been through, next thing she hears is her aunt is dead. And the only thing she can do is laugh. And that's it. As she does right here. Let's take a listen.
Stark, niece of your lady Lysa Arryn.
Then I offer my condolences. Lady Arryn died 3 days ago.
Because what else can you do? I mean, you just gotta laugh. If it ain't one thing, it's a motherfucking other. Oh, now she's dead. And that's the way Arya's looking at that shit. Like, oh my fucking God. And that was great. Just that one little small scene. Now, I sometimes, and there you go. After that is when you see Sansa come down that in that gown. And then, let me tell you something. I must go hark back on this. First Melisandre, and then Sansa now. Sansa, I'm not looking at like Melisandre because she was naked, but the Sansa in this dress right here, when that sun is hitting her and she's in that Maleficent type dress, that's what I think of. She is just a straight queen, and Littlefinger is just looking at her like a piece of cake, boy. Right there. And she knows she's got the upper hand, boy, right now.
Shall we go?
And that's the bottom line. She's got him wrapped around her finger. And that's it. And then from that scene, you go right into Tyrion inside the cell with Jaime. And I thought this was a great scene. Humanizing Tyrion. I mean, what would you do in this situation? You're talking to your brother. You know, you're about to go up for trial by combat. You know, you start reminiscing about stupid shit that just didn't make no sense in your life that only you and your brother would know. You know what I mean? Just to get a little laugh in here and there, because the situation just looks bleak. You know what I mean? It just looks bleak. But I will say, let me go back real quick to the Littlefinger situation with Sansa before I say that. And I'm going to put the hand up right now because this is a spoiler. So, hand is up, so the spoiler is going on now. I thought it was hilarious when Littlefinger was talking about Sansa, and he was like, everybody dies, people die this way, people die that way. Then he goes, some people die on the pot, and obviously we know that Tywin Lannister will get killed on the pot. So I thought that was hilarious how they put that in there. All right, the spoiler is down and stuff like that. So now back to Tyrion in the cell. He's in there, you know, just talking to Jaime, shooting the shit with him and stuff. And I must say that it was a great scene. These dudes shooting the shit, and he's just sitting there. Obviously, like I said, what would you do if you're in a situation like that? You know, you're about to. Someone's gonna fight for you. You have nothing you can do. Someone's fighting for you. You can't. You're in no control. You're just sitting here. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. You got time to wait. You don't know exactly when it's gonna happen. And the bell just rings, and that's when you know the fight's about to begin, and stuff like that. And I like the fact that they gave this fight. I was saying, you give this fight a minute, 2 minutes, and stuff like that, it would be terrible and stuff like that. I thought they could have gave it a little bit longer, the fight and stuff like that. But the fight was actually, I'm going to tell you right now, probably the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes, dedicated to this fight scene. And when you look at 6 minutes, you don't think that it's that much. But it held its weight. I would have liked maybe 7, 8 minutes of it, but
when you're flat on your back.
this fight played out just like it did in the book.
In the sight of gods.
Even better for me to see it than hear it in the books, because when he's just saying his sister's name and he's just like, say her name, you know, Elia, and he's Elia, and he's saying that, it sounds so much better, this dude saying it, than I ever said it in my head, and better than the way audio or the audio book guy said it and stuff like that. Yeah, I got this on in the background, this fight, because this is just crazy. This is probably the greatest fight scene I've ever seen on TV. And the one I would say was better than this, that I thought was better, the best one I did see, was in Rome. The scene when they were in the Coliseum pits. Now, Oberyn, that when they complain about him drinking Tyrion, you gotta understand, this guy fought overseas already in the fighting pits. So he's used to fighting in light arm, he's used to drinking, and he's used to being in the pits. He says, "Do you tell me who I am? Some dead man." Just like in the book.
I am the brother of Elia Martell. And you know why I've come all the way to this stinking shit pile of a city? For you?
And you can see right now, only
Going
it's too
to hear
quick.
you confess.
Smacking him in the face with it right
You
off the
raped my
bat.
sister. You murdered her. You killed her children. Say it now and we can make this quick.
Ooh! It smacks him in the back of the head. Ugh!
You murdered her. You killed her children.
Ugh! And at this point, it's like a dance to Oberyn. And that just shows you.
You murdered her. You killed her children.
At this point right now, when you see Oberyn going through this dude, this shows you right here. Now, remember, Oberyn trained overseas, Bravos and all that. Water dancing type style. This shows you how a water dancing type style is just so far more effective in a one-on-one battle situation than just a clubbing night style. He's just effortlessly going around this guy with the spear, easily just moving around him, but just getting him to trying to admit what he wants him to say. He just wants him to admit this in front of all the lords, that it was Tywin Lannister that told him to kill him and to kill his sister, and that's all he's trying to do, is get him to say that. And that's more important than everything. He needs him to confess in front of all the lords that Tywin Lannister is the one who told him to kill his and rape his sister. And Oberyn's stick gets knocked down. Oh, he flips over the stick, and his wife is a little concerned. Tyrion gets a little concerned look, and he grabs another spear and gets right back to business. Now, that move right there, if you did not see it, he faked himself. He went on the floor on his own, faked like he fell, to get this dude to charge at him, rolled over and stabbed him right in his stomach. Oh, it smacks him in the back like a bitch with the spear. Oh, right in your calf, motherfucker.
You killed her children!
And at this point, I'll tell you, this played out so much better than it did in the book. I mean, it played out great in the book, but just to see it, you killed our children! Right in your chest, motherfucker! Right in your chest! And he's got this dude pinned to the floor.
You're dying. No, you can't die yet. You haven't confessed.
And at that point right there, when you see he pulled the spear at him, He had
Say
him.
her name.
But it's more important to him to hear him
You killed
confess.
her children. Elia Martel. Who gave you
Pointing
the
right
order?
at Tywin Lannister.
Who gave you the order? Say her name! You raped her! You murdered her! You killed her children! Say it.
And
Say
right
her
here,
name.
Oberyn looks at his wife and fucks up
Say
and
it!
takes his eye off the guys. Oh! Oh! The right hand knocks his whole teeth out.
Elia Martell. I killed her children. Then I raped her. Then I smashed their head in like this.
He popped that dude's head like a balloon. Pop! Banger! Banger! Just like that, boy. And I know everybody loves Oberyn. I know you do, but he's dead, dead, dead. And a lot of people, you may say, you think it come back, but look at, this the way it looks. I'm looking at his pose right now, and I'm looking at the screen. It looks phenomenal the way they did that. He just is dead, boy. And in fact, I like the way they made him scream when it was happening. Not like he's some tough guy. You know, this guy's getting his thumbs right in your eye, pop you. You're gonna scream. I don't care who you are. And I'm glad they showed this dude scream like that, because this is what's gonna happen. Look at how big that motherfucker was. He popped his head like a fucking balloon. But the bottom line, what you must take from that scene is that it was more important for him to hear this man confess that he did this than whether he want to live or die. He did not care. And stuff like that. And as you seen, he was after Tywin Lannister the whole time, because he was pointing right at Tywin. And Tywin, now, this could be declared basically a draw, because you see the mountain drop. Now, I'm going to say that this is a spoiler thing, but the hand is up. So, I don't know how much of a spoiler it is. It's not too much, because the guys who made the show, if you watch the extra credits after the show, he says it in the show. He says that Oberyn's spear was poison. So, we know that dude's spear is poison and stuff like that. So for a big guy like that to have a spear in his chest and poison spear still in his chest that long, that just shows you how strong the mountain is. And stuff like that. So he's got the spear in his chest, his hand is down, and Oberyn just wants him to confess that Tywin Lannister told him to do it, and he did not, and he would not confess and say that. I wish I could just show you this screen. Is there a way for me to flip it real quick, the camera? No, I can't. I wish I could. I would flip it and show you right there how it looks on the screen. It looks crazy. And but it just show you, it's and Tywin, quick, Tyrion gotta go, because he can't have it be declared a draw, because this dude's eventually die, and then Tyrion set free, because it's gotta look like he was, Tywin's in the clear. And Cersei just smiles. Tyrion looks on the floor like, oh my God.
Gods have made their will known. Tyrion Lannister, in the name of King Tommen of the House Baratheon, first of his name, you are hereby sentenced to death.
And Tyrion Lannister is sentenced to death. I don't know if there's any way out for this man at this particular point and stuff like that. I don't know how much spoilers that were. I don't think it was too many, too bad and stuff like that. This the one real big one and stuff like that. But I did tell you that it would be there, so good on that. But this episode, man, greatest episode of TV I may have seen of all time. Blackwater, Stannis was in it. It was a great episode. But from top to bottom, every scene in the show, this is an 11. This is beyond that. This is the best episode I've ever seen, man. Nothing I can say. I had to stay up and do this right now. That's how psyched about this episode I am and stuff like that. It's just nuts. So, Wow, man, I'm gonna have to. I don't know what to say. I can't wait to see the next episode and stuff like that. And talk about the next episode real quick. From the highlights that we see, all we see is the fight at the wall. So they didn't show a clip of anything but the fight at the wall. So this could just be a full episode, just like the Battle of Blackwater, at just a straight fight at the wall. And if they do that, they may be able to top this episode, which is going to be very hard to do. Alright, 30 minutes, that's dumb long for me on a review for this, you know what I mean? But it was dumb worth it. This is the greatest episode I've ever seen. I'm dumb psyched about it. And it's like I said, I'm fair, you know, when it sucks, I say it's not good. Greatest episode I've ever seen. If I told people to watch one episode of Game of Thrones, this would be the episode I told them to watch. So as always, thank you for subscribing. Tell your friends to subscribe. Post me on your Twitter. Share my shit. Try to get this shit out. We trying to get this up. Fancy that shit. You know what I mean? And as always, it's the Don. Cheer. Tony Teflon. Cheer. House Teflon. We pull the strings. Peace. And I'm out. The people's champ. Excited like a motherfucker.